I'm going to Alexandria tomorrow with the others.
I know you have to do this, but I will never stop loving you.
And I'll never regret the fairy tale.
Hey guys, Q here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and discussing the characters Carol and Ezekiel during the Season 9 finale of The Walking Dead. With that being said, major warning of spoilers for everything in the show up to episode 916, and let's jump right into this. So this episode is about a month or two after episode 915, it's in the winter, and we can tell that Henry's death has taken a toll on Carol's relationship with Ezekiel. Now, although as a viewer it may seem kinda rushed during the episode, we gotta remember that it's been a time skip since the last episode, along with many time skips this season in general. So not only have they been trying to deal with Henry's death up until, the kingdom fell during the winter, but they've also just been together for years and years now. So much time has passed since All Out War ended, so even though we've only seen them together for a season, they were actually together for a long time, since about as much time has passed in Season 9 as the first 8 seasons combined, if not more. Anyways, back to their breakup. So what caused this exactly? Was it due to Ezekiel saying something to Daryl? It sounded like Ezekiel was getting jealous of their friendship, at least that's what the initial reaction was, and it made the situation really awkward. Ezekiel could also feel like Daryl is somewhat guilty for what happened to Henry as well because of Lydia and everything, but did Carol break things off with Ezekiel because he tried to get in the way of her friendship with Daryl? And then we briefly saw Ezekiel watching them get a little too close while walking earlier in the episode, but that's about it. Were we supposed to infer that Ezekiel has been constantly bothered by this or something? They should have shown a few other brief examples before having Ezekiel confront Daryl if that's the case, because it just felt so incredibly awkward and kinda out of nowhere. That's why I'm kinda leaning towards maybe Ezekiel feeling like Daryl and Lydia are at fault for Henry, and maybe he feels like if they were to go away that Carol would stop thinking about it, but regardless, Daryl didn't say anything about it to Carol, which was very polite considering what Ezekiel said to him, and even so, Carol could tell that something was up. Another option, as I said, is that Ezekiel actually blamed Daryl and Lydia, but in this case, mainly Lydia for Henry's death, along with his issues with Carol in general, which is why he asked Daryl to take her away with him. Maybe not so much Daryl, more Lydia. I don't know, you guys can let me know what you think, but he thought it would help Carol move on since she couldn't stop thinking of Henry whenever she saw Lydia, but was it kind of already too little too late? Could they have all lived happily ever after at the hilltop if Ezekiel would have just kept his mouth shut, or was Carol going to end things off with him regardless? They were both grieving over the loss of a child, which is a really hard thing to come back from. It's known that couples who have their children taken away or kidnapped or something tragic like that usually break up from the trauma that it causes, or just some sort of block between the two people due to guilt or blame or just overall depression because of the constant reminder of that person who's no longer with them. With that being said, I could understand why Carol would have this decision to stop being Ezekiel's queen, stop being associated with the kingdom just kind of in general for the time being, and instead go back to living at Alexandria like she once did. And I'm actually kind of glad to see Carol return to Alexandria at the end of Season 9, although, I'm not too happy about her ending things off with Ezekiel. It's just because it's been forever since she's really been at Alexandria and, lived there. If I recall correctly, she showed up alongside the Kingdom and Hilltop to save Rick and Carl from Negan during the Season 7 finale, but aside from that, she hasn't been to Alexandria since near the end of Season 6 when she left Tobin that note and ran off to go live alone, causing Morgan to run after her, resulting in both of them living at the Kingdom and sort of discovering it and introducing it into the show. And so that was Season 6, and then all of Season 7, and all of Season 8, and all of Season 9 with all the time skips, and she was living at the Kingdom during all of that. So yeah, it sucks that Carol broke up with Ezekiel, but at least she's back to her original home, Alexandria. I don't mind seeing some of the original Alexandrias finally return, as everyone felt a lot more spread out beforehand. With that being said, for any comic book fans out there, does this mean that Carol will be remixing Michonne's comic book arc with Ezekiel? In the comics, she wouldn't let herself be happy with him over the guilt of her original children, but in the show, Carol may do the same thing due to Henry's death, push him away until it's too late. I just hope that we don't get a bunch of conflicted Carol in Season 10, as I don't want her to repeat the same arc. We always want to see our characters evolve and move forward through new arcs. Sometimes it is necessary for a character to make the same mistake again or revert back to how they used to be, but literally seeing the same character go through the same arc or act the same way over and over is definitely tiring, which is also why fans were getting a little worried that Morgan would just be doing that when it came to him switching on and off his clear mode and passive mode. Let me know what you guys think the future holds in store for Carol and Ezekiel going into Season 10 down below, and also leave any opinions on their breakup as well. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, or even subscribe for more Walking Dead content in the near future as we discuss tons of Season 10 predictions. Check out my Patreon and follow me on Twitter as well, as I'm always posting everything I can involving the Walking Dead universe, links to both in the description. But anyways guys, as always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out!